Otherwise, you will make me crazy moving around it right in front of me. Now, just for a moment, think about why you came to this seminar. I think the volume is a little too high, right? And so, who's taking care of the sound over there? Okay, thank you. Is there any way to get rid of that buzz? Unless you can change it to Om or something. Maybe not. Think of why you came to this seminar. My guess is that everyone wants to improve their japa. I assume that. And why do we want to improve our japa? Is because generally our japa, it needs improvement. Generally, in Kali Yuga, upadrutaha, manda sumanda bhatayo, manda abhagya upadrutaha. Everyone's mind in Kali Yuga is so disturbed. There are thousands of reasons to be disturbed in Kali Yuga. And there is one good reason to chant good japa. Thousands of reasons to be disturbed, and one good reason to chant japa. And the one good reason, what's the one good reason why you would like to chant japa? Raise your hand, good japa. Raise your hand if you'd like to say. Why would you like to chant good japa? What do you want? Yes?
To get rid of our anarthas.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
It makes us humble.
It'll make you humble, especially when I find that if you want to chant good japa, and in this seminar we will be mostly trying to chant good japa. When you try to chant good japa, the first result is you become humble. Because the mind, you say, I want to chant, and the mind says, no, I don't want you to chant. So that's the first result, is we become humble. Any other reason why it's good to chant? Or we want to chant, or you want to chant? Please say, just raise your hand. Yes, Mother.
Connect with Krishna and reawaken our love for Him.
Yes, connect with Krishna and reawaken our love for Krishna. Now, I would like to just say some simple rules, not rules, but guidelines on how we suggest we chant during these days and in general. Now, the first point is you really have to prepare your mind before you chant. Because I saw it when there was a very sweet kirtan going on, and many devotees were sitting here, and myself also, and most of us were doing so many other things during the kirtan. We were talking to our friends, we were looking at our phones, I was trying to find a proper way to sit. But Krishna's holy names were going on. And unless we decide, and it really takes a very conscious decision, and it really takes to prepare the mind before we begin a kirtan, before we begin, practically speaking, any service, any seva, or especially before we begin our japa, we should think, what do I want to do right now? And I would suggest we take this particular mood when we begin our japa. And again, it really takes preparing the mind. And the mood is, for this short time that we're together, and right now it's the evening, and the evening isn't an especially good time, especially it's not an easy time to chant japa. But during the short time when I'm sitting and preparing myself to chant japa, I should accept that this time is very special. This time is my time to be with Krishna, because what is the verse? Abhina tvam namanamano. What's the beginning of the verse? Nama Chintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Porno Shuddha Abhinata. This is my time to be with Krishna. And it's a rare time. And that at this particular time, while I'm chanting my japa, I take out my beads, and also again true for kirtan. At this particular time, I have nothing else to do except be with Krishna. It is a very simple point, but an essential point if you want to improve your japa. For this particular time when we're together, and it takes some training of the mind, and even more than that, when we sit down, and even when we say, I have nothing else to do except be with Krishna, sometimes, as our Prabhu has pointed out, we become very humble because we find out that my mind doesn't really want to be with Krishna at all. And it's very humbling. It's very embarrassing. It's humiliating even. I'm sitting here and I say, how long have you, someone asked me, how long have you been a devotee? And sometimes that question is very hard to answer. So generally I say, how long have you been chanting? Because to be a devotee means, really, I want to be with Krishna. I don't want anything else. So very often when we sit down to chant and we prepare our mind, I have nothing else to do now, have nothing else to do, and we determined on this point that I'm going to try my best to be with Krishna. You know, if you want to keep your mobile phone on, you put it on cowering tone. So it goes moo, and then we won't mind. So before we begin to chant, we make this sankalpa, we make this determination that I'm going to try my best right now to be with Krishna and have nothing else to do. And it is a rare time. It is a very rare time when I actually have nothing else to do except be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. So we suggest, as a second point, we learn how to be with Krishna. If Krishna is his names, how do we get close to Krishna in the form of his names? By the basic process of hearing. And by hearing, by speaking the name Krishna, and by hearing the name Krishna, we are touching Krishna with our consciousness. This is how to be with Krishna. This is how to touch Krishna with the consciousness, by the process of speaking the name and then hearing it. And the consciousness in this way, it touches Krishna in the form of his holy name. Now there are many other levels of chanting. Evam vratta sapriya namakirtya jato anuraga drita chitta uchai. Do you know that verse? Hasyatyato rodati raudi gayanti unmanavan nrityadi lokavaya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that his Guru Maharaj, raise your hand what was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Guru Maharaj's name? Shiva. Yes. But raise your hand, and not only that, but just wait for me to call on you. Not only just raise your hand. So, Sri Parishwara Puri, when Mahaprabhu was chanting his mantra that he had just been given, he went, practically speaking, he went into ecstasy from touching Krishna, from being with Krishna in the form of that mantra, of that Diksha mantra. And he was dancing and laughing and falling to the ground. He went completely in internal consciousness where he was with Krishna. So he asked his Guru Maharaj, he asked Sripadishwara Puri, what kind of mantra have you given me? When I chant this mantra, Sapriyanama Kirtya, tears come pouring from my eyes. I'm not trying to do this, but this is the natural result of being, for when the soul is actually with Krishna. And I dance and I laugh and I fall to the ground. What mantra have you given me that has turned me into a madman? So sometimes devotees will ask, how do I know if I'm really hearing the mantra? And if you start acting like this, that means the mantra has descended into your consciousness. Krishna has descended into your consciousness in the form of the holy names. So then Mahaprabhu, his Guru Maharaj, Sripadishwara Puri, said to him, thank you so much for this. And he said this verse, thank you for so much for developing love for Krishna. And this is actually the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, if we actually develop love for Krishna. This is also comes out in the pastime of Nalakuvara Manigriva, when Krishna liberates the two following the mercy of Sripad Narada Muni. And he says, and our commentators, our acharyas say, this is the pleasure of both Guru and Krishna. So Sripadishwara Puri said that this verse, which describes the actual effect of a pure soul who loves Krishna, in being with Krishna, in touching Krishna, see Priyanama Kirtya, in chanting the names of Krishna which are so dear to him. He said this verse is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. The essence, the sar of Srimad Bhagavatam. All our study of the Bhagavatam has meant us to bring us to this point, actually, of love for Krishna, being with Krishna, wanting nothing but the service of Krishna, Goloka Vrindavan. One time in Japan in 1972, Prabhupada gave a lecture, and he said in the lecture that we should want to go to Goloka Vrindavan. We should want to go to Goloka Vrindavan. So I was a young boy at that time, and I said to Prabhupada in a very superficial way, Prabhupada, we don't want to go we don't want to Goloka Vrindavan, we just want to serve you. But it was a childish sentiment, not knowing what it means to really give your life to someone, and not even having any idea what Goloka Vrindavan is, what to speak of wanting to go there. And then Prabhupada looked at me and said, don't make me come back to accept your service. We should, this desire, actually, and this comes up in so many places, but this desire, this taste for wanting to be with Krishna is the most valuable thing we have. This is our wealth. This, according to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, ruchi, some taste, and also according to Srila Jiva Goswami and Bhakti Sundar. But this is actually the Bhakti Lata Bija. That I want this, even though it may not be fully developed, but the seed of that, I want this. The glimpse in our consciousness that there is a higher realm, a most wonderful realm that is so far superior to the pleasures available in this world that are also temporary. It is like The pleasures of this world are all promise. It's like eating ashes or something like that, although we are attracted perhaps, but there's no sweetness, no rasa, no taste actually there. So the taste or the desire to actually, that my real life is with Krishna, that is what has to be cultivated. And one of the main ways of cultivating it is, of course, is chanting Krishna's holy names. So it's an expression. When we sit down to chant our japa, as we are going to do very soon, it's an expression of the sincerity of, yes, this is what I want, at least for this short time. I'm going to try my best. I may not succeed perfectly, but I'm going to try my best to be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. And how will I do that? Well, I could chant and dance in ecstasy as Mahaprabhu did, but if I'm not quite on that level of prema bhakti, at least what I can do is try to be with Krishna in the form of his holy names by touching those holy names. Try my best to touch those holy names with my consciousness by hearing. And instead of trying to hear the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, beginning with Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, to focus the consciousness on this one simple goal of hearing one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And if you can actually hear one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Eka Krishna Mantra Japa, Sarva Papachai. You are so fortunate. We are so fortunate if we can actually hear one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra beginning with Hare. And really speaking, it's not that sometimes in my youthful enthusiasm, I say, from now on, I'm only going to listen to the mantras that I'm chanting, and I'm going to chant my 16 rounds, and I'm going to do this. But it doesn't work like that, because it's not an intellectual adjustment. It's not a power just of our will, our desire. But what we can do with our free will, is try our best to hear the mantra that I am chanting right now. Beginning with Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. If I can hear one mantra, and I sincerely recommend trying this, if I can hear one mantra, I should feel that I'm very fortunate. Not even one mantra at a time, but if we can hear one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we should keep it simple, keep our goals simple. And we should become determined. First we prepare our mind, then we know what we're preparing our mind to do. We're trying to be with Krishna in the form of his holy names, by touching the holy names with our consciousness, by hearing. And we become determined to try that. And if I can hear one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is something wonderful. And if I don't hear the mantra I'm chanting, try again. Be detached and just try. Keep it very simple. And if the mind wanders, and of course, chanchalam hi, the mind's tendency is to wander, don't worry, it's natural. Just try your best to bring it back to the simple goal of being with Krishna in the form of his holy names by hearing one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So, what I would suggest that we do now is, without taking any more time, we should try to chant some japa together. And while we're chanting, I'll speak sometimes and remind everyone basically what I just said right now. Just try your best to bring your mind back to this simple goal of being with Krishna in the form of his holy names. Be determined. Be determined to what? Be determined to try your best. And Krishna is so kind. He sees the sincerity of the attempt. And practically speaking, the attempt is as good as our success. If we can sincerely try our best, we're doing very well. So, for some time, let's just chant Japa. But before we begin, what should we do? Raise your hand. What should we do? Wait, you forgot to raise your hand, Prabhu. This room doesn't have any corners, or although I would send you right to the corner. But you're so fortunate, because there are no corners. Either that or there are 8 corners. Okay, the first thing, what should we do? Please raise your hand. Yes, Prabhu. Prepare your mind. How to prepare your mind? Yes, Prabhu. But try, even before that, think, yes.
Going to be Krishna, this is the only time I'll be.
I'm so fortunate. It's so rare, actually, that in my life I'm thinking I have nothing else to do other than be with Krishna. So take that mood into your chanting right now. So prepare your mind. And then not only prepare your mind like that, if you think that your mind, you might not be sincere enough, or you think you might need some help, you take a moment to pray to your Guru Maharaj, to the Vaishnavas, to Srila Prabhupada, for some strength, for some sincerity. Because when we try to be sincere, from what I have seen, the first thing that I find out is not, oh, I am so sincere, but I come face to face with the fact that I'm not very sincere, that I have so many other desires. And that is how chanting brings you to humility. Mahaprabhu says this in Durdaiva Midri Samihananunjanuraga. Just after giving the 7 effects in the Chaito Darpana Marjanam verse, then he explains that Krishna is so easily available. Anytime you want to be with Krishna, anytime, day or night, whether you're happy or sad, anytime you want, you can be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. There's no rules. There's no laws of time and place. There's no qualification or disqualification. And then he says, Dodaiva midrisam. The only thing that stops me is my lack of desire. And then the next verse is Trinadapi Sunitrina. So the sincere attempt naturally brings some humility to the heart. And then what happens when you feel not very qualified? Well, you can give up, that's one thing, or you can leave. One time, one devotee wrote Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, a letter in the very early days of the movement, and said, Srila Prabhupada, since realization of Krishna is above Brahman realization, I think I should leave the devotees and first become Brahman realized, and then I'll come back and become Krishna realized. And you know what Prabhupada replied? Who would like to guess? No one is brave enough to guess. Only one person is brave enough to guess, yes.
You will never reach Brahman realization.
No. I mean, yes, but no. I mean, that's not what he replied. But a very good guess. Anyone else like to try and get it wrong? Yes.
It is when someone
Take some rest. Prabhupada said, very good answer, but not the correct answer. One more. Who would like to venture a wrong guess? Okay, with a question like that, of course no one's going to answer. Prabhupada said to him, are you chanting your 16 rounds a day? And the answer was actually no, he wasn't. So prepare your mind right now, take a few moments, and then pray for some help if you so desire, to Guru Vaishnavas, to Srila Prabhupada, to Gora, to Nitai, to Sisi Radhapartasakti, to Sitaram, Lakshman Hanuman. And then as soon as you're ready, just begin. And then I'll speak. But don't stop your chanting when I speak. Just continue chanting and adjust as you wish. But keep in mind, keep chanting, please. Keep in mind, for this short time we're together, you actually have nothing else to do. Be in that mood. This is my time to be with Krishna in the form of His holy names. It's my time to be with Krishna in the form of His holy names. And if you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra, beginning with Hare, you are so fortunate, so fortunate. So be determined to try your best. And if your mind wanders, don't worry, it's natural. Just bring it back to the simple goal of trying to be with Krishna in the form of His holy names. And if you could hear one Hare Krishna mantra, you are so fortunate. So try your best. And be determined to try your best. If you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra, beginning with Hare, you are so fortunate. Just try your best. Hare Krishna, Krishna. This time that we have together, this short time we have together is very rare. Please use it to try your best to be with Krishna in the form of His holy name. Just try your best. Never mind success or failure, just try your best. And if you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra beginning with Hare, you're so fortunate. Just try your best. If your mind wanders, don't worry, it's natural. It's Kali Yuga. Just bring it back. Be determined to bring your mind back to the simple goal of being with Krishna in the form of his holy names. Be determined to try your best. This is such a rare opportunity we have. That we're all sitting, we have nothing else to do except be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. If your mind wanders, don't worry. Yato nischalati manas tansanamaskiram. Just bring it back. Good chanting. So many devotees are trying their best. Just try your best, that's all. If you can hear one Hare Krishna Maha mantra beginning with Hari. Hare Krishna, you're so fortunate. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Be determined to try your best and keep it very simple. If you can hear one mantra beginning with Hari, you're so fortunate. If your mind wanders, don't worry, it's natural. Just bring it back to the simple goal of being with Krishna in the form of his holy names. Try to touch the holy names with your consciousness by the process of hearing. the goal simple. If you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra, beginning with Hare, you are so fortunate. Try your best. If your mind wanders, just bring it back to the simple goal of being with Krishna in the form of His holy names. If you get distracted or if your mind wanders, don't worry, it's natural. Just bring your mind back to the simple goal of trying to be with Krishna in the form of His holy names. Just be determined to try your best for this one thing. Be determined to try your best. Be determined to try your best. Please take advantage of this rare opportunity we have. You have nothing else to do. Be determined on this point. Have nothing else to do except be with Krishna in the form of His holy names. Try your best. If your mind wanders, don't worry, it's natural. Just bring it back. Be determined to bring it back to the simple goal of being with Krishna in the form of His holy names. And if you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra beginning with Hare, you are very fortunate. Just try your best. And remember, this is a rare opportunity we have. You have nothing else to do now. What is your name? What a nice name. Are you chanting too? Are you trying? Oh, okay. Maybe you can chant a little bit, but don't force yourself too much, okay? Okay. You're being so quiet and nice. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
It was a very wonderful experience because in the beginning, in the first round, I was trying to focus and I was getting some success also. I was able to hear the Maha Mantra.
Did you hear one mantra?
Yes.
Very good.
Many
Thank you.
mantras. And
You know, in some senses, I don't. Yeah, that's. Yeah, if you heard one, I'm happy.
it was by the mercy and but eventually when I was chanting second and third round, the mind started wandering here and there, things I did in the day and some future things. So, but then I started chanting loudly and again tried to bring the mind back to the mantra. And it was a very wonderful experience. And
Were you successful at that time?
Yes.
Did you hear one mantra?
Yes.
But it took some effort
Yes.
to bring the mind back. When the mind looks to the future, we say that's vichepta, the distracted mind, and that's the mode of passion. When the mind gets sleepy, that's, what is it, a laya, that means ignorance, sleepiness. If we really try and bring it to the sound vibration, this is real meditation. Meditation on the sound of the holy names. And then, if Krishna so desires by his causeless mercy and sees that we really want to be with him, he can completely reveal himself to us. But that's his part of the relationship, if he so desires. But our part is to try our best. And if the mind wanders, it's okay, it's natural. Just sincerely try your best to bring it back to the process of hearing. And not only that, you can also say, just see how unfortunate I am. My mind is attracted to so many things, but I have to struggle so hard to develop an attraction to Krishna. It's not that I'm not attracted to things. So that's the humility that comes from the sincerity of trying to chant nicely. Thank you very much, Prabhu. It was definitely worth the long journey of the microphone to the back. Anyone else in the back would like to say, as long as the microphone is there? That's a long journey back to the front again. Just see. Okay. Very intelligent.
In starting, I was able to focus, but gradually mind goes and I really forward for so many mantras. Then,
But did you hear one the whole time?
yeah,
Did you hear one?
Yes.
Very good. Very good. That's very good. You heard two? Not even one? Wow. Wonderful. If you can hear one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you're so fortunate. And this is late at night and everyone's had their busy day and you know, their successes, their failures, their frustrations and this and that. And what we really want to do, and this will be the subject of our talk on the Bhagavatam beginning the day after tomorrow, is learn how to take shelter of Krishna in every circumstance. Gotapte varanam tata. And now we try our best to chant and maybe even beg the holy names to be merciful to us. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else like to say how they did in their chanting? Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, it was a good experience, and I tried to. I learned one mantra.
You, excuse me?
Yes, I tried to hear one mantra.
Did you hear one mantra?
Yes.
Very good. Do you feel happy?
Yes.
Do you feel happy?
Only once.
Only once. How about right now? Do you feel happy?
Yes.
Okay, it's twice. Very good.
So, sometimes we desire to do a attentive round of chanting.
Two.
Attentive round of chanting, but sometimes we do not have a desire also.
Yes.
Good round of chanting. So,
Yes.
is this happen?
So what was the last? Sometimes we don't desire.
Yes.
That's where the problem is, actually.
And if sometimes we,
But-
we desire that we strongly, with a very good determination, we tried our best to listen and hear the mantras, and we become successful also in this case. But we do not have a desire, then in this case, in these cases, the towns seems to be good.
Yeah. This is like a Bhagavad Gita class, practically speaking, this point. In the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, right in the very beginning. Who knows raise your hand if you know the title of the 15th chapter. Oh, I forgot to say, wait till I call on you. Yes, Prabhu. What is it? Yeah. Purushottam Yoga. So how does that chapter begin? Do you remember? Yes, please say.
It begins that banyan tree is compared that this whole cosmic manifestation is compared to a Aswatha tree, and that is downward.
Yes. The roots upward and the branches down. And that's a reflection of the real tree. Now, in Prabhupada's purport, he explains what the reflection is situated on. Do you remember that part? Desire, yes. So, the idea is that our situation in the material world, where we are, practically speaking, on one branch of the material world, a higher birth or a lower birth, or whatever our situation, ultimately is based on our desire. Now, when one becomes old, and one thinks about when one was young, and I've seen this really clearly myself, and then sometimes we're outside or something and walking and we see young people running, they seem so beautiful, maybe they seem so athletic, and then I remember when I was young and I could run. When I was young, actually, I could run practically all day long, and I was so proud of my ability to run. And now it's hard for me to walk even. So there's such a tendency, especially when one is old, but certainly not only when one is old, to think that, I remember when I used to be able to run and jump. I could run up the stairs and I could lift this and lift that. And then think, if only I could run again. And then immediately that's planting a seed for a next birth. Or, I wish I could learn Sanskrit. I don't have that ability. Or I wish I could play the harmonium and sing sweetly. Or I wish I had hair like I used to. There's so many different. But that just moves us. Those desires move us from one position on the banyan tree, the reflected banyan tree of material existence, from one position to another. So at some point we have to decide, at some point, do we want to be on the tree of the material world, or do we want to be in the spiritual world? Do we think that there's a situation, a very deep back home, back that we know move from the heart? Prabhu was pointing out, we really want to increase our desire to love Krishna. And on one side, to increase that positive desire, and on the other side, to remove all these, if only I had this, and if only I would have done that, and only this, and only that. Remove all those anarthas, because they just breed more material desires and more entanglement. So the chanting can accomplish those things. So that's a really good question to discuss with your dearest devotee friends, is how can I increase my desire? And you could even ask yourself right now, what increases my desire to be with Krishna? I mean, you don't have to raise your hand or anything, but ask yourself. My phone has that ringtone, my desire. It's maybe, I don't know. But what is it that actually increases your desire? Be introspective in that way. And that's such a gift. It's such a gift. That desire to be with Krishna is the wealth, our real wealth in this world. That is our greatest wealth. Because it's not of this world, actually. Okay. Why don't we just try to chant a little bit more? Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
When I was trying to chant, I was just not able to make out have I really heard the mantra? How does it feel like when I heard the mantra?
Yes.
So externally I'm uttering and hearing the mantra, but how does it know I really heard the mantra?
Yes, I love that question. How do I know that I've really heard the mantra? And how do I know that I really heard the mantra? And how do I know that I'm not hearing the mantra when I think I'm hearing the mantra, and don't know if I really hear the mantra when I'm not sure if I really heard the mantra or not? This is just the kind of thing that the mind wants us. It's like a thread. You pull the thread, and then just with one thought like that, am I really hearing or not? And then your mind follows that thread, and it might not come back to try to hear the mantra for another 10 or 15 minutes. That's the very nature of the mind. So don't worry whether you're really hearing the mantra, or only you're hearing it, or really, just try your best. Because, yeah. And then another thing we say, and then you hear a mantra, and then, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah, I just heard a mantra. That was really nice. And you look around, I bet I'm chanting better than anyone else. And that's it. But oh no, he looks like he's really chanting better than me. I'm not, and I don't like him very much, so I don't know what to do about that. I'm going to really try hard. And then, just the mind just goes boom, boom. And then you think, who am I talking to actually? It's just myself talking to my mind, or my mind talking to the mind? Then you start thinking about that. Who am I talking to? Which one is the mind and which one's the intelligence? So I just say, just try to hear the mantra. Don't worry. And another way to look at it is, if I actually really heard the mantra, then I would be the soul. If that means the mantra manifested itself fully, Krishna manifested himself fully to me, then you wouldn't be asking that question. But don't worry, just try your best. Is that okay? Yes, last question for now. Yes, ma'am. Would you like the microphone? Would that make it easier? Good, it's coming from that side. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, all Vaishnava Vrindas. Now, I'm not sure it's an intelligent question or not, but curious.
How is your chanting, first of all?
I am trying, it's not, I would not say that I am hearing God very much for such beautiful guidance, Prabhuji. I was being thoughtful and surprised about one thing, that in this world there is a general tendency that as we do something again and again, initially we are not focused, gradually we become closer to that thing, closer to destination, focus. Here it's different. As we start chanting, we are focused, and as we gradually move forward, mind wanders. And I was
But
surprised to listen.
let me have one suggestion first. Don't say we, but every time you say we, instead say I.
Yes, sir.
Don't hide.
Yes.
Okay.
I said we because I was surprised to hear the same experience from many devotees.
Okay, but don't worry about them. Just worry about yourself.
That's why I initially apologized that it will not be an intelligent
No, but
question.
no, but just say your question, but instead of saying we, say I.
So is there any reason that instead of getting focused gradually, it's being reversed? Like we are
No,
focused
wait, try like
initially-
this. Is there any reason why when I chant,
Yeah. So when I start, it focus is beautiful, and as I move forward in chanting, focus wanders.
now when you say that, do you mean today or when you chant Japa or for the long time that you since
Generally, yes, it happens.
from the beginning?
Yes.
You used to get more out of the chanting?
Yes, I do my 16 rounds,
Yeah.
and yes, as I start, I feel more connected, and as I move.
Oh, so you're talking about each day as opposed to the beginning. Yes? Do I understand you correctly?
So is there any particular reason why this happens? That initially we are more focused and
Well, there's so many ways to answer that sincere question. One way is that our mind becomes tired. We're not very strong-minded and determined because we're used to, in Kali Yuga, everyone's mind is so disturbed. It's a symptom of Kali Yuga. So what we want to do, ideally, is practice. Getting stronger and focusing on the holy names. At least trying our best continuously and becoming aware when we're chanting attentively and trying our best or mindlessly without any attempt at attention. So we want to become aware of that, and when we're aware that our mind is wandering, then we have to make a choice. This Prabhu was saying, who said that? You were saying that you found your mind was wandering, and then you chanted a little louder and brought it back. So that's the crucial time when we become aware of it. Before maybe we weren't aware, but now if you become aware that your mind has wandered, what are you going to do about it? Well, that's up to you. This is really an important point, because I find for myself so many times I don't again try. I just follow the thread of my mind and want to play on the mental platform instead of being with Krishna. So that shows there's still a lot of insincerity in me, and therefore I get that result. So therefore, in Chaitanya Charitamrita it says, Tatra loyam api mulam ekalam, that the real, what will get you Krishna's mercy and the ability to always chant attentively is a deep desire, deep greed. So that's one way of answering the question. Another way then the next question is, well, how do I develop a desire? And the usual answer is we associate with those who are more sincere than us and more advanced than us. Another answer to that question is when you become aware that your mind wanders and that you don't really have a deep desire to be with Krishna, then we become a little humble. And then we realize that we need some mercy. Otherwise, what hope do we have? And this is the point that our Krishna consciousness will ultimately come to, because we see this in the greatest of devotees, that they're the most humble of devotees. So when we become aware that, look at my situation. How long have you been chanting, Mataji?
6 years.
Okay. I look at my situation, how long have I been chanting? It's still, there's no love in my heart for Krishna. So then we can stand in front of the deities, Radhapata Sartya, Nitya, Gaur, Sitaram. We can stand in front of Prabhupada. And in a moment when we're sincere and we can pray, look at my situation. I'm trying to serve you. But look how, unless you're merciful to me, what hope do I have? This is developing the mood of a Vaishnava. See, and then there's something very mysterious in Krishna consciousness. Of course, there are many mysterious things in Krishna consciousness. But one of them is, it's like do you know how to program a computer in C++? Does anyone know how to program in C++? Okay, we have a whole bunch of ex-computer programmers here. But when you first start, it's harder. And then gradually you master it. And you learn the language. And Krishna consciousness is just the opposite. As you try harder and harder, and the distance, instead of getting closer and closer to the goal, you feel yourself getting further and further from the goal. And that brings this tension that your desire increases. This is very mysterious. Your desire increases and your feeling of capacity decreases. You follow me? So what will you do then? If your desire is increasing, I want to be with Krishna, but your capacity feels like it's getting less and less, that puts you in a very helpless and dependent condition. So in Krishna consciousness, we increase the distance between what we want and what we feeling of capacity. And therefore, in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Srila Sanatana Goswami says that dainya, humility, and prema are the same. So if you're feeling that, oh, I'm not advancing, even what to speak of one day, when I first started chanting, I had so much enthusiasm and all the devotees seemed so wonderful, and now I see so many other things, yeah. So then we stand in front of Radhaparta Sarti, in front of our Guru Maharaj, in front of Prabhupada, and we say, just look at my condition. How much help do I need? Please, if you're not merciful to me. And you read the songs of Srila Narottama Das Thakur and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This is essentially their mood. But my mood is, anyway, I can do something else. Anyway. I'll just contact somebody on Facebook, and anyway, so many other things to do. But it's something to lament about, it seems to be. So is it good or bad? What is the answer to my question? I couldn't hear.
It's good.
It's good if you become conscious of it and you know what to do with it. And you're that sincere that you do it. Because knowing is one thing, and then applying that knowledge is another. So when you realize, just see how my mind wandered like this. Then look, please Krishna, put your glance on me. That's why the devotees like to chant around Tulsi Devi. Because Krishna will glance at Tulsi Devi, because she's the Prayasi, Krishna Prayasi. And maybe if you're near Tulsi Daily, His merciful glance will fall on you too. So I'm not saying something that you all don't know. How many of you distribute books? Yeah. So how many times have you tried by your own power and you're successful, and then suddenly Krishna pulls out the plug and your power can't do anything? Then what do? Anyway, I'll just eat some Narula ice cream, or you pray to Krishna to help you. That's the wonderful thing about doing service regularly, because naturally we start doing it by our own power. And Krishna says, okay, we'll let him think that he's very powerful for a little while. And then suddenly the plug gets pulled and you're powerless. And then you have the choice. And that's why we hear so much Shastra, so we know what to do with it. And that's what we're so fortunate to have senior devotees who can give us some guidance what to do when we hit those moments, those times when everything seems empty. Yeah, we have to become deeper. That's Krishna telling us to become deeper. I would say even it's Krishna forcing us to come deeper. Or not forcing us, because we always have the choice. Yeah. Okay, I don't want to talk anymore right now. Okay, if everyone would just take out their beads, and what should we do first? You really, even though we just stopped for a little while and we've been talking about Krishna conscious things, as soon as you start to chant Japa again, you should prepare your mind for what you're going to do. Okay? So please prepare your mind. Become determined, because it's very rare. Become determined to try your best, and if you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra, you're very fortunate. And if you feel not very sincere, you can pray for help. To Guru, to Vaishnavas, to Srila Prabhupada, to your Ishta Devatas. And then when you're ready, just begin. Do you have it with you? So if your mind wanders, don't worry. Just try your best. I have. If somehow you feel unsuccessful, you're so fortunate, just pray to Nityananda Prabhu, Vaishnavas, Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada. Then you really need help. Try your best. And if you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra, you're very fortunate. And if you desire to serve, to turn towards Krishna, let that mood enter your chant. Just try your best, that's all that's required. See if you can touch the holy name of Krishna with your consciousness by the process of hearing. Try your best. This is such a rare opportunity we have. Please take advantage of it. If you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra, keep the goal simple. Keep focus, meaning try your best. It's a rare opportunity we have. You have nothing else to do now except be with Krishna in the form of His holy name. Be determined to try your best to hear one Hare Krishna mantra beginning with Hare. Be determined to try your best. focus. Such a rare opportunity we have. Try your best. Please take advantage of this rare opportunity we have. And we have nothing else to do except be with Krishna in the form of His holy name. Try to touch the mantra, the sound vibration, with your consciousness by hearing. Good chanting, good chanting. Please keep trying your best. If you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra beginning Hari, you are very fortunate. Just try to hear one Hare Krishna mantra. Is that your goal? That's one. Mind wanders, just become aware of it. And bring it back to the simple goal of trying to be with Krishna in the form of His holy name. tomorrow is another day. And you all have different services and obligations. And so we'll end here. And please try to chant in this way tomorrow morning. And also, one other thing is my voice isn't very strong, so it's best not to ask me questions after the class. And I hope you all have good dreams about Krishna tonight. And Krishna willing, we shall see you tomorrow exactly at 7 o'clock Delhi time. No, I don't mean Delhi time. I mean actual time. 7 o'clock. We'll see you tomorrow, Krishna willing. Thank you so much. You were chanting so nicely. So nicely. It was a pleasure chanting with you. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sisi Radhapatya Sarati, Sisi Gaunitai, Sisi Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Krishna.